Well, it's 7:43 and 72 degrees. Our News Extra program is next, brought to you by Gering Civic Center. Here is Kevin Mooney.
Thank you, Dennis, and good morning, everyone. Always pleased to have Karen Anderson here with the Scottsbluff Gering United Chamber of Commerce to talk about the many wonderful things they do through the Chamber. And one of those things is this kind of an annual trip to China. This will be the second one, and it's going to be fun, and you need to start thinking about this if you want to do this, because the first payment period is coming up a week from Tuesday. Am I right?
Right. We need to know by July 31st if people are coming to make the commitment. The trip is October 25th through November 2nd. It's a 9-day trip. We fly from LAX into Beijing, and then later on we'll fly from Beijing to Shanghai. So 2 plane trips, all of your transportation, all of your hotels, 4- and 5-star hotels and meals, and most of the attractions for the price of $2,100 per person, which is double occupancy. But it truly is a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It just sounds like just a wonderful deal. And you had an initial meeting, and there were about a dozen people?
Yeah, we had a couple dozen people come in April that were interested. We've got, I think, 4 to 6 that have actually committed. So
yep,
there's interest out there. If you've thought about it, definitely go. The guides are wonderful. You'll have 2 different guides, one in Beijing, one in Shanghai. But you'll see it's a great global perspective. You see all the shiny parts of China. Shanghai's pretty awesome. The Great Wall, tea plantations, pearl factories. They really give you a great experience.
Yeah, and the period here to put your first $200 down toward that 2,100 double occupancy is coming up next week, right?
Right.
July 31st is the date. You need to have that money in, and the full payment then goes on. And actually, July 31st is when you have to have it in, right?
Right.
Okay. So let's kind of go through what people can expect on this trip. Like we said, it's October 25th through November 2nd. They had 32 people take this trip last year, and so they're hoping for that many this year. So what can they expect on this trip?
Well, it's about a 12-and-a-half-hour flight, so you get to take a large nap on the way out. You fly out of LAX, and you will arrive in Beijing, and you kind of hit the ground running. We go to Tiananmen Square, which many have heard of that in the past, and after Tiananmen Square we go through Forbidden City, which is just absolutely awesome. So that evening I think you can get a couple of masseuses to come to your room. They have a masseuse institute. So I think it was $35 for an hour and a half, and it was just awesome.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
a little bit different from here, but it was great.
Yeah. All right. That sounds good. And then the next day after that, it just keeps on going. You're still in Beijing the next day.
Right. You will see the 17-arch bridge. There's a place called the Summer Palace, and that is just beautiful. The architecture and the colors are just wonderful. The flowers are gorgeous. Then the following day we'll go to the Great Wall, which is awesome to be there. This last year I did buy the t-shirt that said I've climbed the Great Wall. That was my one regret from the year before, but absolutely awesome and breathtaking. Just beautiful. We'll be there in October, November, and the weather is beautiful, similar to what we have here.
Yeah, so it's much better weather, cool. And then you start stretching out from Beijing the next day, right?
Right. Then we'll take a flight to Shanghai, which is great. We'll go to Tiger Hill, and they have a tall tower that looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which is kind of cool. Just absolutely beautiful. You'll see a lot of traditional things, go through some museums. The guides are just wonderful. You can ask them anything. Then we actually bus up to Suzhou and Hangzhou, and we see their economic development industrial park. So as you're traveling, you can see quite an array of what it looks like over there. You'll see rice paddies, you'll see industrial parks. It's quite phenomenal. Shanghai is beautiful. I think they built 10,000 skyscrapers in the last 10 years, and it's just really grown. So you'll see old Shanghai and new Shanghai. So it's just beautiful.
Yeah, sounds really neat. And then from there you go onwards to some other places. In one of these days. I think it was the day you just talked about. You have an evening dinner with a show and so forth. So you're eating Chinese food here. So
yes, so you need to
what's the
probably
situation with the food?
If you like Chinese food, you'll do great. But I'll tell you, they eat much healthier here or there than we do here. You won't see any candy bars or pop or ice cream. So you probably lose weight, but the flavors and herbs are wonderful. It's very tasty. You eat family style, and you have Chinese food the whole time you're there. So probably the 7th or 8th day, you're getting kind of tired of rice. And I know the first thing I did when I got back to the States, I had a great big old hamburger and French fries. So it's kind of an eye opener of how they eat compared to us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to some of the other things. You go to tea houses and pagodas and all that kind of thing.
Yes, you actually see tea made. They take you to a tea plantation, and it's just beautiful. They do a tea ceremony. That's pretty awesome. We go to a pearl factory, and oysters. It takes 25 years to formulate, and so when you plant them in a lake bed, you need to remember where you plant them. So they kind of showed how they did that, and the minerals in the lake will determine the color. So there are several colors of pearls, so you have an opportunity to purchase pearls. They do a great job of extracting cash from your pocket, but we went to a silk factory, and I think every one of us probably bought a silk comforter, and so it's just marvelous because they kind of give you the experience and tell you the story of how they create it. So they do an excellent job. Yeah,
and you go to some waterfront parks and some special gardens and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, we went to a bonsai garden that I think had 300 trees, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And then they had some local artists that you could purchase things from. One of the final evenings, I think we were at the Bund, which is kind of a waterfront area in Shanghai where all of the buildings are lit up. You can see old Shanghai and new Shanghai, and it's just breathtaking. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay. So, really fantastic trip. And then you got the $2,100 double occupancy, and then how much maybe do you spend along the trip? Probably another...
Well, it depends on what you want to buy. We do take care of the Chinese visa. We work with Sizzlink. They're a company that's been working with chambers for the last 21 years, and visas are $155, and we'll take care of that before we leave. But they have a few optional tours, maybe 3 or 4. So I don't know. I think I took $500, and probably burned a little bit of plastic as well. So
yeah, I would take about $1,000.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
More than likely, that's kind of. No matter where I go, if I go for a week, I'm looking at.
Well, you buy unique things. I came back with a jade elephant that is just awesome, and pearls and silk scarves. So yeah,
it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right, don't forget, you need to get a hold of Karen if you want to do this. And so, what's the number to
give us a call at 632-2133, or you can email me, Karen@scottsbluffgering.net.
632-2133. Give Karen Anderson a call. And again, your first non-refundable registration fee of $200 is due on a week from tomorrow. So we need to get that done. We'll talk to Karen real quick about some other things going on in the next few days right after this.
Beyond belief, beyond compare. You want a venue with added value, with professional staff to assist in event planning, and the Meat Shop's 29 years of catering experience, we can effectively amaze 1,150 of your closest friends. Book your small dinners, picnics, banquets, and meetings of all sizes. Call West Nebraska's premier multifunction facility or visit us at www.geringciviccenter.com. The Gering Civic Center. You've been here, you know.
Back on News Extra with Karen Anderson from the Scottsbluff Gering United Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to discuss real quick a couple other things going on this week with the Chamber. She's got a very busy week. First of all, you have a unique Navy Admiral coming in tomorrow, right?
Yes, they contacted our office and they'd like to visit with community leaders and talk about the aspects of global shipping. So the Navy Admiral will be with us at 7:30 at the Bluffs Business Center. We'll have coffee and rolls, so if you'd like to come, just give us a call at the Chamber. Then also Thursday we have Senator Flood coming, and we'll be doing a noon meeting. The Government Affairs Committee will be hosting that, so if you'd like to come to that, we will have food, so we would ask that you RSVP. So just give us a call, 632-2133.
All right, Senator Flood would be very interesting, especially if you're in business and you're wondering
Right.
what the situation is with the health care bill and what the state's going to do with state exchanges and all that kind of stuff. Of course, Governor Heineman has his opinion and other people have theirs. And maybe the senator might know what the legislature will be looking at. And you can also ask questions about other things. And there's a possibility he could be. I mean, he could be the next governor.
Yes, we've heard he's kicking rocks.
Kicking it around. So anyway, he would be a good person to talk to. The Navy Admiral's name?
That I don't know.
Trying to remember.
Yeah.
You sent out a press release
Yeah,
on it.
we'll be
I'll have
sending
to
out a
look.
reminder too.
Yeah.
So give us a call, but a unique experience.
Unique experience with
Come
that
join
Navy
us.
Admiral. All right. All right, very good.
Thanks for having me,
Karen.
Kevin.
Once again, 632-2133. Call her and get that money in before a week from tomorrow for this China trip. Thanks.